We got to drop the mic.
We do. I want to ask y'all, since a lot of teams or a couple teams are already ruled out, what fan base should be most excited for their team coming next season? If you can kind of rank them, like, should this team be the most excited? Should that team? How would y'all look at it?
The Washington Wizards come to mind. I mean, they a team that expedited their timeline immediately, so they fan base at least know they have 2 all-star caliber talents coming in next year. They have an Alex Sarr coming back, so they have a lot going on.
Potentially could win the lottery.
Yeah, and then they have also potential to win the lottery this year. So the Washington Wizards are probably number 1 for me, just because they have so much potential to be like a legit playoff team next season. That like it's kind of hard for me not to put them there, because that's a team that will be going from bottom of the East to now in the middle, at least the middle of the pack in the East.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Very good answer. A lot of their young guys have looked good in spurts. I mean, Will Riley, it's not even a spurt anymore. That guy's just straight
He
up
just
good.
dropped 30 off the bench.
So shout out to Will Riley.
He reminds me of Kevin Martin.
Really?
The body type, the slenderness, it's like a herky-jerky type. I put it on Twitter, and a lot of people was like, you're only doing it because they look alike. But I don't
They are
get,
like
some people's minds are like, comparisons are, you have to be the exact person. But it's like I'm comparing them to a person that played 20 years ago. So like, of course, their game ain't identical, but the way that they kind of move, it's like a funky, fun to watch, score first type thing. So I really enjoyed watching his last few games. But yeah, I agree with the Wizards.
The Wizards agree with you too, D Mills. I was watching one of their one of the people on the broadcast had mentioned how they extended the amount of time that you could renew your season tickets. So they were giving fans the most time possible to be like, if you want to buy in, this is the chance right now, because we're actually going to be good this season. And they were trying to do right by their, the fans that's been there.
I hope it's the right thing to do for the fans, man.
Right.
Because who knows how the season's going to go.
Yeah, it could be difficult.
To not have the same answer, the second team that came to mind, because I also agree with the Washington Wizards. The Utah Jazz to feel pretty decent as well. We saw the breakout from Keontae George. Larry Markkinen had a bounce back after season, but he was good last year, but maybe not as good. I think he averaged like 27 points per game this year. Walker Kessler looked really good before his injury. They trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. And then in the midst of the tanking, Cody Williams looks good in year number 2. Bryce Sensabaugh been averaging 24 points for 20 games now. Nobody cares, because it's like a tanking team and somebody got to score, but like some of that is translatable to being the 7th man on the Utah Jazz next season, or 6th man or whatever. So that's another one of those teams.
They always have Ace Bailey too.
Ace Bailey, thank you. I don't know how I forgot about him. Ace Bailey looked really good, especially second half of the season. Really good coach in Will Hardy. And it seems like they're not done by our reports. Not saying they're going to make another big splash like Jaren Jackson Jr., but it seems like they're going to try to round out their roster with a little bit more vets this offseason.
Another team with a pick too. And then like, those teams are so tough, because I think those are the 2 top teams. They could have the same season, but Washington would just be in a more ideal spot just because they're out east.
Yeah.
Like, it's just tougher for the Jazz to have that next step.
I'll throw another team out there. The Chicago Bulls.
Oh, my goodness. Who?
Just from the simple fact of like the moves that they made with cleaning house. We'll see what happens with Billy Donovan. They'll have some of the most money, if not the most money in the offseason. Not necessarily saying that they're going to do anything crazy with like an acquisition, but it's always good to have that flexibility. It opens up more possibilities of moves that you can make for more assets. They can potentially have 2 first-round picks this year in really good spots. And just the excitement of heading into a new direction, that breath of fresh air coming into a fan base with, up top, I think can breathe new life into a fan base. That gets fan bases excited, you know what I mean? So they've had a tough time over the last 6 years, and I think this is a good time to pivot and go in a new direction. I think they got some things that can make that fun. It's going to be a process, but it can make it fun.
Yeah, be sure to tune into the YouTube episode, because I feel like we might spend 30 minutes on the Bulls firing our Tunis Carney show over to Mark Eversley. But the point I'll leave with off that, P, is that I made the tweet that's saying that this is a really good general manager job for somebody to take. All your own draft capital, plus some other first-round picks, some other teams, a salary cap out of this world, because pretty much nobody's guaranteed next season other than like 2 people, and some at least intriguing younger players in Midas Buzelis, Josh Giddey, and some other stuff. The main thing is ownership. Will ownership allow you to really go in and do what you think you should do, or they want to be in on every single decision, which seemed like it was the case with the other guys. So I'm excited for next season, but I also remember in 2017, being excited the last time we fired our GM and the new guy came in and he was trash too. So like you got to temper your expectations.
Hey
a
man,
little
ain't
bit.
nothing gonna get more trash than what we
That's
just
what
saw.
I felt with Garpax. It didn't happen. And so now, I mean, the Bulls probably were the worst ranked team.
Garpax and them at least made some good draft picks.
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
think-
the beginning of
yeah.
the Garpax thing was really good.
I don't think Garpax give Patrick Williams 5 years, $90 million.
I don't think they draft Patrick Williams to start off with.
Yeah.
I think they were really good at drafting, even if every time they drafted, the guy was a year 3, year 4 college player.
The one thing I can say for Ag, not to defend them because some of this dragged out too long, but there was that time where like they came in guns blazing. You know, Wendell for Vooch,
Larry.
Wendell and Franz got to package them together.
DeMar DeRozan,
Yeah.
Lonzo Caruso. That team,
Oh, that, yeah.
that team looked like this is what we got them for. And then obviously the
Lonzo
injuries to
injury.
Lonzo
Yeah.
and the hesitancy to like actually accept the fact that
That it was
injury,
over,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they
it's-
had their best moves was stealing Alex Caruso.
Yep.
That was the best thing they did as a general managing group. Eventually flipping him for Josh Giddey. Right now, it looks decent enough
Yeah.
to count it as a slight win. Drafting Modest at 11. I don't know if that was circumstantial because Modest was projected number 1 before the season started, and he's a Chicago kid. I think they were just going to select him regardless. But Ayu Dosunmu in the second round is a really good pick, even if you
Yep.
traded him for almost nothing once it was all
I still
over with.
think it's crazy that you didn't get a first-round pick for Josh Giddey from a team that has a surplus of picks.
Yeah,
not
27.
for Josh Giddey, but for Caruso.
They ain't get no picks, right?
No, it was
Not
just
straight
one
up
for
1 for
one.
1.
Yeah.
I feel like Caruso had so much value around the league that someone would have given you a
He did
pick.
exactly what they got him to do too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they made that trade and we were always like, oh,
Y'all got
Hand
an
him a
offer for a
championship.
first round pick, didn't y'all?
We sure did from the Memphis Grizzlies. That pick turned into, I think, pick 10 or 11 in the year after that draft. And I forget what ended up happening with that pick, who the Grizzlies selected or whatever. But in real time, I don't want to give them too much flack, even though they're fired, that the Grizzlies were a playoff team when it happened, and then injuries happened, and then it turned into a lottery pick. So they probably looked at it and said, oh, it's the 18th pick, so maybe not as good, and then it turned into the 10th or 11th pick or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited as a Bulls fan for next season. It really depends on. Obviously, I've been in conversations with some people behind the scenes, is letting me know like who the potential candidates are. Some of the names I've never heard of because they're like assistant general managers on certain teams. Some of them people are actively GMs of other teams that might interview for the job, and I'm hoping that those guys don't get the job. I don't want to say who the name is, but golly,
Well, I'm excited to hear you're happy. This was supposed to be like the long-term plan for when y'all did eventually make trades and y'all didn't get them like exactly what y'all wanted back. It felt like y'all always got, just breads on the crumb from it. And people were, upset about it, but it was the point that y'all were starting off fresh. Y'all had just kind of been running with the same thing for so long. It kind of pointed to the direction of this, to where y'all at now.
yeah. Shout out to the Bulls. We'll see what ends up happening.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.